Hi everyone, I thought I'd do another look through an old sketchbook, and I found this one and it seems to have some cool stuff in it, so thought we'd have a look. It's about 3 years old now. I think it's like end of 2018, most of the stuff in here. And you can tell it's just after Thought Bubble or during Thought Bubble because it's got a bunch of cool stickers on. I think this one's by Feth Silvers on Twitter. Does really cool mermaids, and this one is definitely one of hers because I know it's a character from their amazing character comic called Shift, which everybody should definitely read. I don't necessarily know where the others are from. I think that's from Redbubble or something. It came free with something. But let's have a look inside. Right, this is some sketches of my OC for a game called Improbable Island, and also I think that's a birthday drawing for somebody. Yeah, that must have been a birthday drawing for someone. Let's see. Oh, a slightly neater sketch of that same character. She's called Shy and she's terrible, but very fun to play. That is a commission for someone. Again, on Improbable Island, I do a lot of OC commissions on that because it's text based, so everybody needs drawings of their character. And a little doodle of a bunny. I don't know what that is. It's probably bored. That's an early attempt to map the town the Owl People is kind of set in. I still don't really have a solid idea. I know lots of things that are in the town, but I don't necessarily have a solid kind of grasp of the geography of it. It's kind of not the way I conceive of places very much, so it takes quite a lot of effort to put down a map. One day I'll get it nailed down, and then you can all see that. And that is a doodle of a character from the Adventures on Amnesty arc, who I really love. I think she's great. These are initial. Yeah, so that's this was definitely kind of October of 2018 because these are drawings for Into the Dungeon, which is the Choose Your Own Path book that Harry Connor wrote and me and a bunch of other artists did art for, and I got to draw loads of really cool monsters, so that was fun. I think I've used these character design like concept sketches in workshops and stuff because I actually did a lot of kind of designing because Harry basically said go nuts, do whatever you want for monsters, so I got to really kind of flesh out what kind of designs I was looking at and think really hard about what would make these monsters interesting and powerful in the context that they were in the story. That's another commission, I think. Yeah, that one still holds up quite well. It's quite good. Another commission that holds up a bit less well. That neck isn't right. Their head's at a weird angle. I think I might even have fixed that in Photoshop when I came to colouring a little bit because it looks very wrong to me. That's a Patreon drawing, I think. Another RPG character. This is my character Skier from a kind of space opera pirate RPG. That was really fun. She's like a big tough pirate. Basically, I just made a character who I could get into a lot of fights with because that was what I wanted to do at that point. Another commission. This was a character sheet for somebody's halfling character. That came out quite well. And this is the page of doodles, which makes me think we were probably at a con because that's the kind of thing I draw when we're at cons. I don't know which one though. This is concept for a short comic I was doing for an anthology. I think it was based in the Dundee archives, had an anthology like inspired by all the cool stuff that they were finding in the archives because they've got a lot of old comics and they had some Trolls comics, so I was asked to do the art for that. And this is, I think I've posted these sketches to Patreon before. Some Owl People concept sketches going into a little of Valpine's history, some stuff that we'll see a bit more in detail when we get to the second book, so I'm excited for that. Oh wow, I'd forgotten about this. This is a portrait. My friend Erica asked me to do a Twitter avatar for them, and that was really fun to do because yeah, she's got such a lovely face. So that was cool. Oh, and some more Owl People sketches, drawing some other lovely faces, but of absolute bastards. Oh, another commission. That was a weird one. More sketches. Oh yeah, and this is definitely con sketches because that's another one of Faye's drawings. Oh, and the suffer turtle. I forgot about that. The things that seem hilarious when you're very tired. Some more dicks. I'm sorry if anybody doesn't like drawing of dicks. There's going to be a few in this book because we were at cons and that's what happens. More commissions. This is half of a character page and a standalone commission. Do a lot of D&D stuff and it's very fun. Another character sheet commission. This is a big one. It's an interesting character. They wanted specifically to look at like the different moods of their character, so that was quite fun to kind of draw the same character but in different emotions like coming to the forefront. That was interesting. Some Patreon drawings and another commission. Clearly I was working hard on the commissions at this point. I think this is when I just first opened up doing character sheets, which is really interesting. Like there's a lot of work goes into a character sheet, but it is really fun to get to grips with the character and draw them multiple times so that you're not just once and then that's it. You never draw them again. You get to explore them a little bit. This is the second half of that other character sheet a couple pages back. Where was it? Yeah, this one. You can see it's the same character. And this was the overlap of that one. You can tell I don't really do things in order a lot of the time. Just flip between what is interesting to me at the time. These both came out pretty well though. This is another commission. They wanted a character based on the Tulland peat bog man, I think. One of the bodies that they found in peat bogs, who's like from ages back, like Bronze Age. So I got to look at some really interesting, really kind of creepy reference images for this. I really like how that came out actually. It's got quite nice lines to it. Another map. After saying that I don't really think of things in terms of maps, here is a commission I did of a map. It does look pretty good, alright. I can't believe how small I drew though. Here's my hand for reference. And here's all these tiny buildings and things. And I kept that in pencils because obviously to ink it would have just killed me and probably also killed the art a bit. It just wouldn't have come out well. These are badge designs for Into the Dungeon for the Kickstarter. We did some various kinds of merch and I got to design a badge, so that was really fun. It's coming up with cool faces. Oh yeah, and this is the final face that we ended up using. I think Harry made it look a lot better with putting text on properly and stuff. They really made it to a good polished item, but I do like that face still. That's a drawing for somebody, a friend who was a bit ill. This is more Into the Dungeon concept stuff. I really like this monster and how I kind of figured out how it should look. The thing that really made it snap is like giving it some slightly human features. I think that really gave it a kind of an air of pathos and an air of like, there's a history to this thing. It maybe didn't always look the way that it does, or it maybe comes from something other than just like generic wild beast. Yeah. So that was cool. Another commission. Somebody wanted a drawing of this cool dog. That was fun. Oh, and this was an interesting commission. I don't think I've done one of these since, but it was a commission of like somebody's inventory for a kind of RPG character. So all the stuff that they carried with them or had in their backpack. That was really fun to do, and it was really good practice for drawing objects as well, because like it's not something you get asked to do a lot, just draw interesting objects. And it is a really important skill to have, especially as a comics artist, because you need to like make things recognizable but also kind of characterful. So that was good. I don't know. Oh yeah, those are like the weird magical names of those particular items. I was looking at it going, those aren't words, I don't understand what that says. Another commission of a creepy jester monster type thing. And a very important drawing for Olivia. Because, I remember this now. At Thought Bubble, she gave me a copy of her book for free. And I was like, well, I can't let this stand, so I drew her a hockey horse. And that was very cool to do. It's a very good book. Everybody should check out all of Olivia Hicks's work. It's amazing. Everything she writes and draws is just fantastic. Some more Into the Dungeon stuff, getting to design a dragon, like Harry saying, yes, make a dragon exactly how you want to, was super cool. I got to make it, like literally you can see here I've based it off like shrews and like whiskery underground creatures that are kind of blind and wrinkly and covered in bristles. And giving it a really long creepy face. That was so fun to do. Love a dragon with nipples, see? So that was really cool. And then like figuring out how it will fit into layout as well is kind of also a part of character design all the time. Like it's all very well to draw a monster that looks really cool, but it has to look really cool in the context of what drawings you need to do. So I knew I had a big page one that had to show it on its hoard, and I had a littler one that was to be a spot to show it asleep. So, and some extra bits for margins where I just put the tail in. Another commission, another gestury type thing. And oh yeah, some more Into the Dungeon of the best character from Into the Dungeon. I'm not biased at all, but it is the best character. So that was cool. Little bat guy. Oh yeah, I'm kind of developing a bit further. The trouble with bat guys is there are so many options with their noses. There are so many things you can do, so I ended up like just doing a bunch of different kind of, there's so many ways I could do the nose before I decided on like this weird like multi-layered thing with like one central leaf with a little frond on it. Because bats' faces are so cool. They're so varied. I highly recommend spend a while looking at different kinds of bats and different species because they're amazing. This is another commission, somebody's D&D character, a cute wee tiefling. Oh yeah, it's figuring out one of the hardest to draw animals or creatures from Into the Dungeon is the child in inverted commas, and sorry if you've not played the book, spoilers, but it's like, it looks like a little crying child, but as you get closer it looks like weirdly kind of runny and clearly not actually a child, and then when you get there it turns itself inside out and attacks you, which is a really cool idea for a monster, and like it was so cool to hear Harry talk about it, but then it was like, oh, how do I draw this? It's actually really difficult. It did actually turn out, I'm really pleased with the drawing. It ended up looking quite like that, just flailing bits of organs and membranes everywhere, like seemed to be the way to go. This was the drawing of the child that I ended up going with. Just really nice and simple. And these are some sketches from a trip to the necropolis. I really like this angel one. I think I ended up putting this in the my scene about with poems about birds, just because it's quite a nice sketch. These are an absolute mess, but I think these are sketches for, I was asked to do a comic for like a mental health awareness thing about anxiety, and just trying to visualize my own anxiety is quite difficult, so there's lots of big ugly serpents and things. Or was that for this? This might also have been an album cover for Panda Car. Yeah, I think it might actually have been that. I think I just ended up reusing some of the concepts from that. Yeah, no, that makes more sense. Yeah, the anxiety comic also had weird worms, but they were different weird worms. The trials of being an artist, honestly, trying to figure out which worm goes with which project. Geez. These are drawings from a trip to Pollock Country Park, which is like a big country park in the middle of Glasgow with cows and like ivy covered stately homes and stuff. It's really cool to walk around. That was cool. Man, I want to go back there. It's probably safe now. I should look into that and do that. That would be cool. Oh, this is concept art for trying to figure out how Ophelia looked when she got all messed up by the wine. Wow. From ages ago. I really like that sketch. I love a fat belly that's showing with all its stretch marks. It's always good to do. But yeah, that was fun to figure out how she should look. And yeah, that was the finished kind of decided form. Some drawings of a scary bird monster. I think this was another like OC thing. I think it was Shy again, something happened to her. And trying to figure out how she turns into a scary bird. Yeah, and that's the finished drawing. It stands up, that's not too bad. Feet are a bit weird, but not terrible. What's this? Oh, these are thumbs for another comic to do with the archives, the Dundee Comics archives, or not comics, it was all kinds of different texts in this one, because it was inspired by like really old, several centuries old anatomy textbooks. So it was, the brief was like a comic about a figure that kind of dances until it sheds itself of all its organs. So that was fun. Another commission. That one's not very good, to be honest. Yeah. I don't really know. I don't think I had a strong idea of the brief. This is a Twitter avatar for a writer friend. And yeah, that's the finished one. I'm quite pleased with how that came together. I love a good wizard hat. That's a Patreon thank you drawing. That is a doodle for a friend of a thing they were talking about. It's just an in joke about Bloodborne inspired characters and wardrobe choice, and it was funny, so I drew it. This is going to, I think it was one of the big galleries in Edinburgh. I can't remember which one. And drawing some of the pictures there. And then a doodle of Volpine and Taito. I still really like this drawing of Taito. He looks absolutely unhinged. This is concept art for a comic that was going to be for an anthology, but to be honest, it was quite a badly organised anthology and it ended up falling through. But I still have the comic posted about, I think. It's called Luminous, and you can probably read it on my Patreon. And if not, then around the internet, I'm sure. But yeah, about a gay little moth who's in love with the moon and the shipwright that she hires to do it. That's another commission. The shipwright that she hires to build her a ship to go to the moon, who is a wasp, and they fall in love, and it's very cute. And I had a lot of fun drawing it. It was just a super indulgent little story that I really liked. And I really like these character designs as well. This is the shipwright. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with those still. Another drawing of a scary bird shy in her mask. Oh, this was coming up with Christmas card designs. I usually do a block print for my Christmas cards, and this year it was a little goose in boots. I still really like that block. Came out really nicely. This is figuring out what the witches wear for pyjamas for that scene where they have to get in a scrap with Ophelia in their pyjamas. Oh man, this is another abandoned project. I say another, I've not abandoned many projects, just a few. But yeah, the Deep Sea Shark teen drama project, it's kind of on permanent hold because I realised that I really like drawing these characters and I like the concept of it. Like when you string together the words deep sea, teen drama, cosmic horror, that sounds really cool, but I don't actually have the ideas to back it up. It's one of those things where like maybe one day I will figure out what it needs in order to all come together and be what I want it to be. But at the moment, it's just like there's no need to like push it. I've got other things I could be working on that I am more interested in. And these character designs aren't going away, so meanwhile I've got them still for if something comes up that can actually use them well. But yeah, they are really fun character designs, and I love deep sea sharks and deep sea creatures so much. So yeah, there's definitely something that I could maybe do with them, but I don't know what it is just now. So I'm just kind of letting it be what it is for the moment. What are these? Oh, I think this was just, I was just wanting to do a standalone illustration. So sometimes what I do is I like pencil a bunch of really loose layouts and kind of pick whichever one jumps out at me. And I ended up using this one and did a little postcard size illustration using that. And I still have postcards of that, I think, kicking about. I put them in my order sometimes. It's a Fallout 4 or Fallout based commission. Oh, and this is ECAF, which is the best dog con in Scotland. So I always try and draw old people's dogs when they go there. So this is a bunch of cool dogs that I saw whilst I was at a con. Man, I really like that pug. The more cool dogs. I told you it was the best dog hunt. There were so many dogs this year. Couple of greyhounds. What's this? Oh, more dogs. A little dachshund. A big Alsatian who apparently was called Kaiser. It was very fluffy. What's this? Oh, this is... my friends made me watch The Thing, which was very good, but I was very scared. So to be less scared, I drew... what's his face? Man, Faye's gonna be really mad at me that I've forgotten his name. But the main guy in his big hat being mad at Chess Wizard. Because it is a good big hat. More character designs for the benthic thing. Trying to make a vampire squid kind of drawable. Because there's so many bits to it, it's a difficult one. Oh, and I forgot about this, the Gulperial, who's a bully. That was fun to do. It's a cool character design, but I'm not sure that I'd keep him as a bully. I think there's still a bit of kind of thing of like, it's such a thing to make the fat character the bully. It's like, I mean, like, yeah, like obviously fat people can be bullies as much as anybody else, but it's such a thing. Especially when like their thing is a Gulperial, so it's like, oh, they eat the kids, haha. I don't know. I think I still have some feelings to unpack about that, probably. It's another commission. Very occasionally somebody will ask me to ink a commission traditionally, which costs a little bit more, and obviously there's certain circumstances where it won't work so well, so I kind of have to do that case by case, but it's really fun when it works, and I do like how this one came out. These are, you've probably seen them if you read Owl People, the filler comics or not filler, but like reader question comics from at the end of a chapter. Just kind of slowly going down these in the hope that you can read them. I hope this comes out clear enough to read. But yeah, that's fun, and I want to do more of that when I start Owl People up again, which is coming. I know I keep saying this, but it is kind of slowly getting there. When I start up, I'll do some more reader questions if there's people who want to ask me stuff, so have your questions ready, please. Yeah, so that's the end of chapter 4, I guess, and that is, I mean, it's clearly a drawing for somebody, but I have no memory of who or what the context was, but okay. Another commission of a cool giant word monster type thing. Another drawing, comic. I really like Vulpine's expression in this one. I think I did a good job at that. And that's the end. And yep, this is more. I think I remember that but. As in that means that was drawn at Thought Bubble. Yeah. So some drawings from Faye mostly, and I think I added to the bits. But yeah, and that's the end of that sketchbook. So I hope you enjoyed seeing some stuff for about 3 years ago, and have a nice day. Bye.